Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's going to be an excellent show. We'll start things off with our friends from Rotary Central, but I just want to say a special welcome to Miss Adimani for taking time with your schedule, sitting with us. So good afternoon to you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, it's going to be awesome as you sit with us, and we're going to invite you to stay tuned. Our first guest will be from Rotary Central as we tell you about the upcoming health screening initiative. So please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331.
Talk Today is proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village. Convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email Talk Today at candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And of course, the phone lines are always available, and we have our first guest joining us. What is it, remotely using the technology, right, Miss Addy?
Yeah, like kind of like COVID style remotely,
I
but not as scary.
Not as scary. What was that thing, Gangnam Style? Well, this is different. Let's go to the phones and let the technology work for us as we welcome pharmacist and Rotarian, Mr. Melio Padu. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure. And when you see Nurse Zelta, please give her our kindest regards as well, all right?
I will.
I'm sure she's working extremely hard as she does normally. But I'm glad to see the Rotary Central continues with this, health initiatives, and we invite you to share with us again what you have planned for us.
Right. One of the main aims of Rotary International on a whole is to fight disease, and this is in a bid to build better communities and to save lives. And as we are a people of action, we don't just say it, we do it, and there is no exception. November Worldwide is observed as Diabetes Awareness Month, and we are bringing our free health screening event back to Cayman this year. Due to COVID, we did not get to have it last year, but we're back and bigger this year.
And this is where, over the years, as we've had the discussions with you, we recognize that many of us are probably so busy, probably don't think that we ourselves could be impacted, say, by diabetes because we seem relatively healthy. And I'm so grateful that through your screenings, you've caught people in the early stages, and sadly, some whom, but for what you did, may have been much more dire. So, to tell us, well, before we go, we have KCL, Miss Adimani sits with us for a bit today. I'm glad that she comes in. Adi, any particular questions or comments you want to share for?
No, I mean, diabetes is one of the most, I think, under-discussed diseases or problems, especially in the region. It's so prevalent, and especially in the races that exist in the Caribbean as well. Mm-hmm. It's very prevalent with people of color.
I tend to ignore it, I think, sometimes even the warning signs. So, if I may ask, what is the screening going to be like? When are you doing it, and where is it the same as past, or have you made some changes?
We will be having our free health screening event this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
at 2 locations this year. Usually it's at one. We'll be having it at A.L. Thompson's and at Cost Julius. We thank both of them very much for having us this year. Now, as we said earlier, diabetes is one of the leading causes of illness in the Caribbean, and Cayman is no exception. It leads to blindness, heart attack, stroke, kidney failures, amputations, and it can be very expensive to treat. As such, we are giving people the opportunity to get to know their risks, get to know if they have diabetes and how to treat if they do, by offering free blood sugar checks. We'll be checking cholesterol levels, we'll be checking your blood pressure, we'll be checking your hemoglobin level, which is the level of iron, and that's something new this year. And we're also checking your A1C, which is a test that gives you an average level of how sweet your blood is for the past 3 months, in other words. And we're also doing a healthy weight assessment.
No, that last part, the healthy weight assessment, is that distinct from what we here refer to as the BMI?
No, we'll just be checking your weight and your BMI. Yeah, oh yes, your BMI.
Okay.
Yes, we'll be checking your BMI as well.
All right.
Do you see an increase in people from a younger generation now getting it too? So maybe I think that people who probably would not think that they would be susceptible to it or to come to the event, maybe they should know that they're also at risk or prone for it too. It's not just something that you get when you're older or overweight.
All right, I'm actually glad you brought up that point, because diabetes does not discriminate, and it actually exists in 2 different forms, type 1 and type 2. Type 2 we tend to see in the older population, and that's because it's when your pancreas basically wears out over the years, and it's unable to do what it's supposed to do in terms of controlling your blood sugar. But we also have a type 1 diabetes that can affect you from birth or from in your teens, younger child age, where your pancreas is just not working properly. So anybody can get diabetes, and therefore this screen is for any and everybody.
That's that exactly, and I think it's such a good event because you can have it like a couple generations within one family going to it, so they can all support each other too. And I think we should remove the stigma that's associated with it, because although lifestyle can contribute to it, that shouldn't put you off from actually going and getting checked.
No, it shouldn't. And we're offering this as it's a whole suite of tests that you'll be able to get in one place, on top of a free consultation with a doctor. I mean, that's value for your time,
Value for money and value for your time, value for your
life. There's no money because it's all free. So it's just the time to get out there. You get to do your test, see your results right away, and talk to your doctor right away, who can then determine if you need to be referred to a public or a private physician, if you actually need to go to the hospital right away, because you can be walking around with high blood sugar levels and high blood pressure levels that can lead to sudden death.
That's so good. And are you going to be sharing any like nutritional or health pamphlets or advice for like small changes in diet, just in general, like even if you are fine?
Definitely. Actually, World Diabetes Day, which is in about 2 weeks, on the 14th of November, the theme of this year is education to protect tomorrow. So we at Rotary Central, we will be having us out there who can give you the guidance, can give you the counseling. In fact, back in 2020, just before COVID, we had a training of several medical professionals within the region, and especially here in the Cayman. It was held here in the Cayman Islands, where we saw several certified diabetes resource clinicians being trained by the wonderful nurse Andrea Hunt. So Rotary Central has been ahead of the game by providing educators across the island who you can go to, who you can speak to once you know your risk level. But the important thing is to know what your actual numbers are and to know what your risk level. So everybody needs to come out.
Well, I will definitely be coming, and I'll be dragging a few family members and friends as well.
Awesome. And I also want to say that even if you're not at risk and you're perfectly healthy, you know your numbers, I still want you to come out because we have one bonus event, and that is we are accepting applications for blood donorship. So if you want to give the gift of blood, which definitely can save a life this Christmas or this holiday season, you can still come out.
And this is all happening on Saturday.
On Saturday, we start at 10 a.m. and we go until 2 p.m. at both locations at A.L. Thompson's and Costa.
And because you're doing the A1C and others, just to clarify, are you asking people to come fasting or no fasting?
No, they don't require you to be fasting. We have various ways of we have different checkpoints, so we don't want you to drop down on the road. Eat if you need to eat, and when you come, we will assess you then, however you present.
Perfect. People out and about doing their normal chores and getting things done. They take a few minutes.
Yeah, no excuse on Saturday.
Right. You don't have to be fasting, and because it's the A1C, you'll catch it for the last 3 months. So,
correct.
All right. Anything finally you want to share with us? I know you have to get back to your work. You're not just a Rotarian, but you're a pharmacist. Huh?
Thank you very much for. This is a voluntary program, so we have several volunteers that I just want to say thank you to. We have volunteers from HSA, including both medical and nursing personnel. We have medical students from St. Matthew's University, and we also want to give a big thank you to the Health Services Authority and for the locations that have hosted us for the past 2 years, Foster's along with A.L. Thompson's, Costa, Hurley's, and Kirk. And I personally want to thank all my fellow Rotarians in Rotary Central who will be out in their numbers. You'll see them in their blue and gold shirts, and they'll be happy to assist you. And of course, big thank you to Rotarians Delta Gale, who has been spearheading this project for the past 12 years, since 2010, every single year, and she has done a fabulous and stellar job every single year.
This is where many hands got to make light work, and thank you for offering this opportunity. Free of charge to the entire Cayman Islands community. So have a great weekend, and hopefully.
And I'll see you Saturday as well.
All right, I'll see you there.
All right, all the best. Take care of yourself, huh?
Bye.
Okay, bye. With that, we want to make sure we'll remind them before the show is out, to come Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You don't have to fast. It's an excellent health screening initiative. Diabetes is very prevalent, and let's not ignore it. So, Miss Addie, when we come back, we'll have at least half an hour of some open line. We can banter.
Yeah.
1 o'clock. There is an event to raise funds for ARC that we want to maybe highlight. Then 1:30, our friends at the Cancer Society will join us for a bit.
Lots of good health talk today.
Yeah, I was debating whether I should grow a stash.
I mean, you could say that you did participate. You could start. You've been raising money for a whole year or
Keeping
more.
it clean, man. All right, we're gonna pause and take that break and invite our callers to be a part of it this Thursday. You imagine what kind of fun we can have?
Yeah.
Maybe what sort of constructive dialogue.
Constructive criticism.
All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Pirates Fest. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. The evolution of Cayman's Pirates. A little bit of fun for everyone. Grand Cayman festivities from November 10th through the 20th. 10 days, 33 events. From happy hour parties, cardboard boat races, the Trial of the Pirates, float parade, national song competition, pooch parades, races, fireworks. So many fireworks. Pirates Fest is here. 33 events, 10 days, November 10th through the 20th. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Pirates fire, raging through Church Street, bright and little Cayman, putting on some heat.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
HSA's cardiology clinic is now located at Smith Road Medical Center. Our cardiology team provides expert care and treatment for heart conditions such as coronary artery disease, heart failure, arrhythmias, hypertension, congenital heart diseases, among others. The new location offers state-of-the-art cardiac diagnostic testing, including echocardiograms, ECGs, and stress tests. To contact, call 949-8600. At HSA, your heart matters to us.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Afternoon, welcome back. Thank you much for joining us. 949-8037, 949-8037. Or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Maybe I could, mimic Miss Susan in poetry and try to say it in song, but how would that sound, Miss Susan? How do you think that would be? She's going to get back to us on that. Well, if you're watching us on YouTube, say hello to Adimani. She's sitting right to my left. If you're not watching us on YouTube, well, radio is the way to go, but it's the video that you can have. So you can do both at the same time, right? Very few things you can do at once. This is one of them. Still struggling with how to, walk and chew gum, but we'll get there. It is, just almost Christmas. You can, I don't want to.
Mariah Carey's just getting warmed up to play.
I like my country Christmas.
I like it better than after this many years of Mariah Carey, the same song.
Yeah, for me, it's if it's a Christmas carol or Christmas song, if it's in the country version, I like it. I like the renditions. I just prefer it.
Do you think they're going to be doing the Christmas carols again this year?
They might.
I hope.
They might. I mean, for some people, the hiatus was a reprieve for them to, come back stronger. For others, it was just a wonderful way to bow out gracefully and say, you know what, I put in my time, I done my dime. But with that, though, the carols, the school concerts, the church festivities and the like, and even the National Choir and Orchestra and different things are happening, man.
Yeah, on Saturday, the Cayman National Orchestra and the Cayman National Choir are having a performance at CIS, the auditorium at 7:30. A mixture of classical pieces, and it was supposed to be for Halloween, but I think something with the weather. So there's some Ghostbusters themes and Lord of the Rings, and there's the orchestra will actually be playing a piece that was written by a student at Catholic.
Oh,
very talented.
Yeah, and I think we sometimes, it's like I was speaking with Luigi just briefly yesterday, and he has a, as he called it, musical conference, cool out, not chill out, no way, cool out, the way we say, and the potential for that to not just identify but help to develop the talent we have in here, but to provide the legal and financial infrastructure that will help the artists.
Absolutely. I mean, for such a small island, the amount of musical talent, not just in terms of singing or pop or reggae, but like each school having a mandatory program where children have to sing or play an instrument, learning an instrument. It's incredible. I remember John Gray, we had national band when I was in high school there. The talent that was there, just reading and writing and like just gifted musical students. And it's great that you're forced to learn because you could be gifted at something and you don't even know.
Yeah, I've always believed that, when we look at education, I don't know if it's the policy makers and the politicians, if it's the pressure of the parents, or if it's within the school, but somehow we focus on certain things. It's gradually changing. But at the end of the day, as adults, we wonder, what was the benefit of that?
Yeah.
Because we don't see it, easily transferable to life.
Yeah.
And something like music, the arts, whether it's the performing arts or whether it's, you get a chance to go on stage and do a recitation. It doesn't matter. Once you're having that opportunity to engage in that side, it should be for all students, and not for examination,
exactly.
but for participation.
Exactly. I mean, the confidence you get from being on stage, meeting people as well, speaking publicly.
How did you, if I might, I don't like to normally ask people public things, and that should be private, but music, you're a prodigy to an extent. How did you get involved in music? How soon?
Actually, my parents made me start doing violin with Mr. Barnett, I think when I was 5. Because my parents knew that the discipline of having to play an instrument, the practice, but also reading music is one of the few things in the world that actually uses both hemispheres of your brain at the same time. It's the mathematical and the creative at the same time. So they're thinking like doctor, lawyer must be good at math. So I don't think they thought that I would actually like be as into it as I was, but there's something really great about learning something on your own. I guess it's like people that go to the gym and you actually see progress as you do more and more.
It's about consistent practice, but doing it properly. But then it's the idea you share that if you can be introduced to something, and sometimes it is your parents' insistence. Yeah. Because they mean well for you, and many times, even as children, we don't believe it, but they actually know more than we think they know.
We won't say it now, but
we can say it now, probably. I mean,
as a parent,
parent, I'm saying to the children, your parents actually know what they're talking about. They want the best for you. But I wonder sometimes that as parents, if we're either a little bit too adamant, or B, and I think this may be just as bad, if not worse, a little bit too easy,
too lax.
I
think it's better, at least I think there's a difference between like making sure your children are involved in things, but there's a difference if they don't like it and maybe forcing them. That's different. But if you try something and you don't like it, you can try something else, which is what I did.
I had a friend who shared, he said it was for him initially just a simple exercise. The child would express an interest in something. You would check it out if it was something that was affordable, not just financially, but that was key. But could it work? Logistically. Okay, we committed to it. We paid the fees. The child's obligation was you attend. At the end of the time, you didn't like it. You gave it a go. That's fine. But he said what he did, unlike others, and in hindsight, 1,000 years later, as we talk about it, I think he was quite wise. He didn't just drop the child. He stayed for every possible reason to support the particular endeavor, to make sure the child felt supported and nurtured and protected and safe. And I asked him, well, were you concerned about any kind of abuse or neglect? Or he said, no, I just thought that if the child saw that I was there, I'm there. That half an hour, that hour, that weekend, whatever it was, and so crucial. And I know we're busy, so we drop the child and we hope and pray and we believe and thankful most times. It's a wonderful environment. Yeah. But is there a presence?
I will say, because I did not, I was put into a lot of extracurriculars because my parents worked so much. And they could not be there, and they thought it's better if I'm there than being at home and doing something else, which is also very good.
Yeah, which is true.
But when you look at it's so crazy that they're saying that, because now that I have this performance with the orchestra on Saturday, I was telling my mom, look, you can finally come and watch me play now.
You're calling her out, man?
No, because she was working so much, and I was doing so many performances at like the Pines and all these weird hours, and she was at the Compass, so it was very...
Yeah. But that's the thing. Thank you for sharing that, because I think we need to recognize the demands that we place on our colleagues, on our employees. Yeah. However we term that, and without understanding that when it's said, we need to achieve this work-life balance, Really?
I don't know. Yeah, like what is that life like? What comes into that bracket of what is that life? Because they may be their life, but are they taking in that kid that wishes that they were there, or the parent that wishes they could be there?
And it's something when you talk to your parents or you talk to your friends who are parents, and the regrets that they have. You know, they missed certain things. They had to leave at a certain time, and probably since the mid-90s, without question, I was formally introduced to it. I've said it consistently. I'll continue to say it unless and until someone says to me, "You're totally off." This idea of a 4-day work week. Yeah. It's nothing to do with not having a strong work ethic.
No.
It's about the sanity, the productivity, right? And when, you know...
and the fulfillment you get when you're not. Like, you'll come back to work better.
Yeah. And I'm hearing increasingly that there are little experiments being conducted within organizations here on Grand Cayman to see whether that can work for them. And what is the consequence? Now, we know in the U.S., the state of Utah did it in 2008-9 sometime. Yeah. They did a proper study. They found a number of things. They found productivity increase, job satisfaction, customer satisfaction, costs came down. But there were other excellent benefits. The employees were reporting, you know what, we're not just happy, we're exercising more.
Yeah.
Right? And as I followed it from different angles, small organizations, there was a report of a lady who said, because of a health issue following some surgery, she had to take time off. She owned the organization, so she said to the employees, "I'm going to do this. The option is there for you if you wish." And as reported, one of the staff members said, up until that point, like everyone, you have to run out your lunch hour to do errands. No matter how much online you can do, no matter how much you can order something up and have someone do it for you, there are things you have to do. No matter that you made up that time, more than likely you probably took a half an hour and put in an extra hour.
Yeah.
Good employees do that when they're nurtured in the environment. But she says she found that she had that one work weekday that she could do these things, and while she's at work, she can focus on her work. She doesn't have to be distracted by this needs to be done.
Exactly. Yeah. So how you could only give so much of your energy at one time to one thing.
Right. And it's something that I would openly ask as a society for us to consider.
Absolutely.
Is it for us?
And Germany, children are getting busier too as well. Mm-hmm. Kids are doing so many more things. There's so many more as the schools get better and activities get better. They're busy too.
And that's the thing. What are we doing to ensure that
quality?
Yeah. We bring it down.
Yeah.
It's an amazing place. Well, Miss Susan, we will talk forever unless you say come to the break. I'm not sure. I should ask my teachers, in school, was I very talkative? Because here's the job I have now.
That's what I was thinking. The amount of dirty looks and trouble and licks I got in school from talking too much. It's all come to fruition now.
It paid off. It was preparation for a job you did not know.
Yeah, we should find those teachers.
Yeah, ask for an apology.
Yeah, yes. We should do a talk today with our teachers. Apologize.
Yeah. No, but you know what? Let's pause and save ourselves from future comment. When we return, though, be the first caller and we have a prize for you. No, we don't. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
And the whole island is one big party.
Little Cayman, the 2022 Pirates Fest season starts with you November 4th through the 6th with the official kickoff at McCoy's Sunset Bar Friday the 4th, followed by the float parade 3 p.m. on the 5th starting from Southern Cross, costume competition, fireworks show, and don't forget about the Pirates Party at the Hungry Iguana. You know them pirates like a little party, Little Cayman style. Little Cayman Pirates Fest, November 4th through the 6th. Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Come on out to the Cayman Seafood Fest and Health Fair. Come enjoy your favorites like crab, turtle, conch and shrimp with tasty side dishes. Get free blood pressure checks, flu shots, nutritional counseling and much more. See you Saturday, November the 5th, 11 to 3 at the Farmers Market next to the cricket grounds. All proceeds to support the NCVO. Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
In this period of remembrance, remembering those who sacrificed and those who made the supreme sacrifice gave their lives in defense and preservation of freedom and democracy, the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, in cooperation with Radio Cayman and Breeze Radio, presents this short narrative about a Caymanian U.S. Naval frogman deep-sea diver exploits during World War II in the Pacific Ocean regions. In the Pacific region, there were many Caymanians serving in direct battle roles. One such Caymanian was Denton Henning, who was a Navy frogman in the U.S. Navy, making him the first professional Caymanian undersea deep diver. He participated in many dangerous underwater night missions, surveying and clearing many harbors in the Pacific Islands region to facilitate a safe landing of military personnel and materials. Henning, after the war, became a championship wrestler and later a traveling evangelist. Some of Henning's wrestling bouts can be seen online under John Paul Henning. Denton was born and grew up in the Henning Beach, Loren Reef location, which is now the West Bay Public Beach. Remembrance Day, Veterans Day, universal observances take place on November the 11th weekend. The Poppy Appeal is presently on through November the 15th, so get your poppy and wear it proudly. All funds contributed during the Poppy Appeal go towards elderly Cayman Islands veterans' needs. The proceeding was brought to you by the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, Radio Cayman, and Breeze Radio.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks too to Ms. Ademani for sitting with us as we invite you to be a part of the discussion. A few minutes open line until the headline news at 1. Today's Thursday, huh?
Thursday
already. But, Thursday, a couple of good things happen after Thursday. One is Friday.
Yeah, true.
And then Friday being tomorrow, and East End having this Heritage Day.
East End's the best Heritage Day.
They would probably not disagree with you. I mean, you might can go up there and...
I've never seen it on a Saturday because it's going to be weird not seeing people and rushing from work and running in and getting 15 containers and leaving leisurely.
Yeah, but it's it's going to be I think a great, wonderful day, and I think as we were speaking to Ms. Tisha Conley yesterday, even Little Cayman is getting in on it. So people who are already set to go and who are maybe on their way there, they can bounce between the two.
Yes.
It's going to be nice, huh? Susan's going to take her catboat across, she said. She's just waiting for Mr. Loxley to hoist the sail. Yeah.
First mate?
Yeah. It could be. But I'm mindful, as we were talking about, earlier, how some of us were perhaps a bit loquacious in class and engaged, inquisitive, inquiring. Students who were...
You did pay attention in English class because that was like a whole thesaurus lesson.
No, man. Language skills I think are crucial, I want to perhaps be absolutely respectful to our listeners and this one was sharing, as we were talking about, being a bit, engaged, let's put it that way, in a class, very, very communicative. Says, I'm sure you talk too much, but I also did as well, and you're expressive and very articulate. Guests likely talk too much too. But communication skills are important. So to our teachers, let's develop that sense. And I want to say that partly in jest, but partly to maybe make the point that in our schools, as you were talking earlier, the idea that there's a way to ensure this participation, that the music and the language sort of skills and development isn't about examination. It's about getting them on board so that they develop this sense of interest. And who knows, as you shared, there may be that very, very, gifted individual, the next polyglot, who knows, the next Mozart.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's going to be fun. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you though, well, unless you want to share something, we're thinking of music. You're performing at this coming Saturday with the choir and orchestra, all right? Of all the instruments out there, if you could pick the one that you would, want to absolutely know how to play with the best proficiency, which one would it be?
Well, we never had strings, and I wish I could have played the practicality-wise, the violin, but I love the cello.
The cello is that
rich-sounding timbre of the cello. Okay. It's sexy.
That was the word that came to mind.
It sounds really nice.
It's just something about the cello. I mean, you're not going to carry it around with you quite easily.
That's it.
But, set it down, embrace it.
Yeah.
Just watch. Presumably, your dominant hand will be in the right. You use your left and you maneuver and manipulate the strings as you.
Or the saxophone too is good. At least you can travel with it.
They're probably, from Dizzy Gillespie to, the Marcellus Brothers, we'll always think of the sax name, but I don't think we can ever think of the saxophone and think of Bill Clinton.
No,
Clinton,
exactly.
He's many of our comedians have made a joke about the Clintons, but there's an instrument. What else? I mean,
bass guitar or guitar in general.
Just guitar, but bass. You're very specific.
Bass guitar. Okay. The sound is really good. There's also politics when you're in a band, that if the lead person, there's always this diva mentality. You can be cool to the side. No drama, no fighting.
All right. Yeah.
Tactical.
So all those instruments, I think you reference are wonderful, piano included.
Yeah, piano for sure.
For me, if there was one, I think I would love to play, was the radio. That was just... No, but
which when we were skills was actually a musical instrument. When you sit there with a tape and record songs.
See,
kids these days, they don't know.
What's that? Yeah. And I don't know if it was because that was when you were allowed to do it, but for me, Friday night and the radio was synonymous. And if the weather was particularly cooperative, and you could find the right spot in the house to, put your radio up and adjust the antenna, and man, you would get some of the best sounds.
The best.
And to me, that's why when the investment in radio came on, was sort of proposed, and now we see its development. It's absolutely crucial, not just entertainment, but back then I think the media was perhaps more than what it is now in terms of respectability and resourcefulness and the like. But that was information, that was communication, that was timely.
And it was communication between people as well.
Yeah.
Because, I still remember being a kid and my dad listening to the Legislative Assembly that used to be on radio came on, and I was thinking, I really want to just change it, listen to
Glad
music.
He didn't.
Yeah, I was like, they talk so much. I mean, not much has changed.
Yeah, and we still bring those broadcasts, live because they're important, all right? And they share not just to educate and involve the populace, but it takes to inform them, involve them, let them feel included.
Exactly.
But imbue within our people that sense of obligation
and community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially because it's so easy to download music and listen to what you like. Radio, you can kind of be a horse with blinders on just by yourself, listening to what you like. But radio forces you to kind of discuss.
Yeah, I laugh, right? I was somewhere just recently, and there are a few of us who can remember, a few decades back, put it that way, right? And someone who's probably, as Mr. Loxlow would probably describe, a little wet behind the ears, right? This probably would be how he would describe it in his normal, just gentleman, very, very kind way. And the person is talking, and it's a podcast. So the older, much more seasoned veteran in the group says, "Well, what are you talking about? But you don't know what a podcast is?" "Yes, but tell me." So it proceeds and says, "Basically, dude, you're just talking about radio." That's a basic radio, but radio on demand, and it's amazing.
Fancy radio.
All right. Well, let's pause and take our break. Go to our news. Get informed what a wonderful team what Radio KMAN's newsroom has in store for us. When we come back, we'll spend about half an hour and chat with you about an upcoming event to raise funds for ARC.
Paddleboarding.
Yeah, it might even be a demonstration. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Well, there's foam in this room, so it works perfectly for a foam board.
There you go. Well, we can get. Let me see. No ideas there. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Follow Radio KMAN on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio KMAN.
Today's biggest news.
Radio KMAN. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio KMAN's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. The RCIPS police helicopter assists with the rescue of migrants at sea, along with Cayman Islands Customs and Border Control, Cayman Islands Fire Service, and the Cayman Islands Coast Guard. During the early morning of Thursday, 27th of October 2022, 3 irregular migrants reached the shores of Cayman Brac. The migrants informed the officers that they had left Cuba several days before and had passed another vessel about 55 nautical miles northeast of Cayman Brac some 18 hours earlier. The vessel had broken down and was adrift. 14 occupants were accounted for on the boat, 13 males and 1 female, 3 of whom were assessed to be in need of critical medical attention. All occupants were conveyed to Cayman Brac, where they received medical attention and were processed. In international news, the Bank of England has warned the UK it is facing its longest recession since records began as it raised interest rates by the most in 33 years. It warned the UK would face a very challenging 2-year slump with unemployment nearly doubling by 2025. Bank boss Andrew Bailey warned of a tough road ahead for UK households, but said it had to act forcefully now or things will be worse later on. It lifted interest rates to 3% from 2.25%, the biggest jump since 1989. Wolves in parts of the Netherlands can be shot with paintballs in a bid to make them less tame, authorities say. There are fears that wolves are becoming so unafraid of humans that they could become a serious danger. Paintballs have been chosen so that rangers can see which have been hit. It is hoped that it will also encourage wolves to stay at least 100 feet away from people. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio KMAN on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio KMAN app or log on to our website, radiokman.gov.ky.
Radio KMAN is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born September 25, 1947, at Watering Place, Cayman Brac, Royce Adolphus Dilbert was the firstborn son to Helen and Grace Dilbert, née Tibbets. Mr. Dilbert was a hard-working man who spent numerous years at sea, as well as employing his diverse skill sets on land. In 1979, he would marry Yvette Jackson and took employment with Cayman Brac Power and Light Company in 1981 as chief engineer, where he remained until his retirement in December of 2018. Heavily influenced by his wife, in 1982 he gave his heart to the Lord and joined her at Ebenezer Baptist Church, where he later served as interim pastor in 2002 to 2007, becoming pastor in 2017. Mr. Dilbert was a charter member of the Rotary Club of Cayman Brac, served as PTA president at Creek Primary School, worked with the youth in the community, president of the Veterans and Seamen's Society, and was a member of the Development and Control Board Cayman Brac until his passing. Royce was a devoted father to 7 children, loved to fish, and had a passion for cars.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
CUC reminds you to always be aware of power lines. Before digging by hand or machinery in unfamiliar locations, contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or via email at service@cuc.ky to ensure there are no underground power lines in the area. Safety first at CUC.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Who says radio can't be exciting? Well, you should be here, every day, because this is where it's happening. Well, Ms. Adivani, we've got you in your element, and I'm going to ask you, just as a continued test and a demonstration of the, intellect and the progress and the agility of you, as we go around the table, right? Now, we both have the same amount of information. With what we have, should we go through you to introduce our guests?
Well, I don't have the expertise in the crazy skills these people have on paddleboards, but I know them and I know their actual incredible skills.
Well, listen, that's the best. I want to say first a special thanks to Stephanie for reaching out and asking, would we be able to facilitate a discussion? Because not only is the event to raise funds for ARC, but the event itself to get on a paddleboard and show, as Adi was saying, the core strength, the dexterity, the determination, but the commitment to community. And for that, it bodes well for a society that is willing to do it. Now, I know, as we tell our listeners more and more, but Monday holiday isn't just, weekends from the coming Monday, but it's going to be a special one. Yes, from that perspective, share with us. We will usually say ladies first, but you know what? If you have muscles and tattoos, why not just go there first?
I'm not sure where I start. I'm usually just coming along for the ride. This all started with a friend of ours, Chad in Canada. KCPO as a charity started in Canada with a friend. He's actually coming down for this event too. He's going to be part of our safety, and I mean he's a big guy. He's a firefighter. He's a Superman, so he's going to take care of us and make sure we survive. But he's the originator of KCPO, Keep Calm Paddle On. It basically started in Canada with the way of getting outside, getting onto the water. People who have some sort of maybe depression or PTSD or you just sometimes you just don't feel right. It started basically with just get outside, do something. And that's how the paddling started. It's basically you're on a paddleboard, you're floating down a river or you're in the sea, and conversation sparks up. And that's how. And then I was brand new to this. I basically, I've always played rugby. I've always been fit and strong. Well, I used to be anyway. And I'm just old now and trying to hang on. But and Yaz being my best friend throughout the years. Basically said, look, you look like you can do this. Let's go. And we.
Man, was I wrong?
Biggest
and
mistake.
that's when the monster started. And ever since I've been following him around, making sure we don't die on the water. I'm trying to just take care of each other. But that's how it started. Basically, it's about starting a conversation. Getting yourself out of your element, getting yourself out of the house, or if everybody has their issues, and we're lucky enough to be strong enough and fit enough to do what we do. But you don't have to be. You just have to get outside, do something with somebody else, go for a walk.
Yeah, yeah.
This is our way of going for a walk, and you'd be amazed what comes out.
So you're walking on water, wait,
well, we basically we swim, we float.
Yeah, I was thinking,
you don't have to have a $5,000 paddleboard. You don't have to do anything. If it's just a walk on the beach with your friend or whatever, it's just about getting outside and doing something that you like to do and something you have in common. This is what we have in common.
Yeah.
We're basically we're brothers.
So he's the more handsome one. That's
yeah, obviously. Yeah. He's the older one.
Face for the radio, my man. Face for the radio.
And that's basically how it started. Now it's morphed into doing these events because selfishly we love them. We love doing it. We like pushing ourselves, but we're not multimillionaires who can just give a load of money. But what we have is our strength and our get up and go, and we use that in order to raise money and to give back to the community because we've been pretty lucky in our lives. We have families that love us, and we're not we're not hungry. We have a roof over our heads.
We're wealthy because we do.
Yes, basically.
Exactly.
So we want to use what we have to give back to this island that we love. We call home. I've been here for nearly 12 years now, and I consider it my home. And I feel privileged to be here. And anything I can do to give back to the community, that's huge for us. Because it doesn't matter what it is. It could be the animal shelter. It could be the NCVO, the kids. It could be it's ARC. It's whoever wants to help.
Yeah.
And can give. We can do stuff for the next couple of years, hopefully, to highlight something and give back. That's basically what it is.
It sounds really good because we were just talking about the stress of 9 to 5 and working so much and not having that fulfillment or quality time. So this sounds like something that could really, maybe you can't afford mental health care or something else, something like this can really ground you, especially because this is a country where you have two parents that are working hard nonstop and kids that are in school, and this is something that all you need is just going out on the water.
Or it doesn't even have to be the water.
Yeah,
it's just what
water
we
adjacent.
Use. We have the perfect vessel. This island is perfect for water sport activities.
Yeah.
But I mean, it translates into anything, and you don't have to be a paddleboard. You can just be somebody who wants to make a small bit of a difference and give back. And there's always ways through certain charities, and everybody has been fantastic. And you'd be surprised how generous people are. And we have people who just throw money at us. It's great. There's busy people, So that's their way of giving, and our way of giving is to do it. So we all use what we have, basically.
I think too much is given, much is required, right?
Exactly.
And you can give
whatever you can.
A talent and a treasure.
Exactly.
Ms. Kirsten, from your perspective, before we bring Yaz in, welcome.
Thank you.
Give us, your involvement. Give us your take on this.
My take on this is I've been involved with KCPO since 2015. Yaz and I met through the water sports shop Waterman, which I worked at from 2012 before I started my company, Vitamin C Cayman Islands. And we all share this wonderful passion for the water. I am known for paddle fitness and paddle yoga and instruction here on the island. And through that, it's helped me help other people grow as individuals on the water, the mental health part. I can speak to that 1,000%. It helps me every day. Every day I'm on the water, something ticks in the right direction. And I love doing that for other people. So we got involved with the KCPO. There was an NCVO event for the kids a long time ago. And from there, that's where the fire started of what more can I do with these paddle boards, And I actually met Tara, who you're going to speak to in a bit, back in those Waterman days when she had an event, Kite Fest. Was that what it? Yeah, Kaibo, and that was my first involvement with ARC back in those days. And it's just really cool to be able to share this water sport, whether it's a beach walk or whatever, with other people and just help them discover themselves in ways they didn't know they could. It's really cool.
And Yaz, with that, we want to get in touch with ourselves. We want to discover ourselves. We want to give. But there are many of us who just give quietly, who give without expectation. There are no ulterior motives. From your perspective, as Stephanie shared, it's just that kindness.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. It's your kind of duty to give back to community that you're living in, regardless of where it is. Like Owen had mentioned, and Kirsten had mentioned, we've been living here for a while, and you gotta give back. And as it was, to paddleboarding or to water sports in general, to something like this, we can do that. It doesn't matter if you're, runner or near, whatever you do, just do something for the community, to support your community. You know, I mean, there's so much there's a lot of need here. You know, it's a pretty island. It's beautiful. It's paradise in so many ways. Not so everyone. You know, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, people don't. I listen to you a lot, and I tune in quite often with your conversations with Provost and Cayman, and it's serious. You know, like, and what ARC does, what the NCVO does. It started, 10 years ago, as Owen and Kirsten said. You know, I came from Canada with the idea to do KCPO here. Good friend of mine, late Janet, she was in charge of NCVO, and I used to work with Finn, her husband. And then I knew that she was working at the NCVO, so I went there and I'm like, tell me about it. I have this idea that I'm, coming from Canada with, and I walked in the foster home, and I walked in and I walked out. I'm like, this is it. You know, it's got to be done. There's like 10 kids that are in serious need. So I went on and went to Waterman, talked to Owen, and little slowly but surely we got this ball moving, and now it's there now. It's a whole team. It's a whole community. When our KCPO is mentioned, people like, all right, I know what you are about. Here is $5,000. Here is $100. You know, I mean, it's proven that it works, and that's pretty much it, man. We all enjoy it, we all have fun on it, but there is a lot of need.
Right. Tell us about the event specifically. I mean, not just how it's going to unfold, but we want to hear about the preparation. But on the day of itself, tell us about the event.
Well, this particular thing, it's a bit challenging because a lot of stuff, it's weather. So let's say if we do something on a beach, what we did for CARE a couple of years back. We did it on a Saturday, but we did it on a 7-mile beach. So it's easily controlled. You know what I mean? We have safety, we put buoys out, we know where we're doing, so that's that. This one is hard because we got to go around island in under 24 hours. We've done it in 3 days, we've done it in 2 days, but we've never done it under 24 hours. We've done it from Little Cayman to here for the NCVO. Can I, quick story about the NCVO? We are paddling back. Night before, I get a phone call from the guy that wants to interview me from TV. And I'm like, when I come back, I'll give you a call and then we'll talk. He goes, can you call me from Little Water? I'm like, there's no way. It's satellite phone. It's too much. He's like, okay. And I was not kind of rude, but you kind of focused. I'm like, I'll just call you when I'm back. Anyways, we land. There's a fella, younger guy, with his camera guy. And he goes, I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, here we are. I'm exhausted. We are tired. I don't even know where I'm at.
22 hours.
20 hours. 2 days of paddling.
On the water.
Oh, my God.
And he comes up, because you start everything. He goes, you've been doing this for 10 years on NCVO? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, I just want to let you know that I was one of those kids at the foster home.
Oh, my God.
I just started crying, and everything made sense. He goes, I just want to thank you, Bruce. I'm like, that was it. So this preparation, it's all about mental and training. It's a lot of physical, a lot of mental, and a lot of safety guys. And we're only as good as our weakest links in this. We need safety guys. And every year is a different people. She says, we don't want to beat them up either. The Little came into here. Shout out to Mark Soto and Dan Murphy and Dax Foster and Jessica Harvey.
Jessica Biel? Oh, sorry.
Harvey.
I got excited.
So there's a lot of good people that were there. And then, this year is
So this year, Andy Barcher, who owns Luca and Ragazzi, he's got a beautiful 40-foot catamaran, and Zulu and him are going to be basically our because when we're on the water, especially after we're 10 hours in or whatever, we're just, we don't know what's going on. We need something to follow. We're next to each other. We don't even talk to each other. He looks over at me, he goes, you okay? I go, no.
That's why your friendship is so good.
We just this sucks. Okay, let's keep going. So there's no stopping, right? So we keep going. So we have, thankfully, we have Andy and Zulu who are going to be our point. We also have a good friend of mine, Greg Burke, donated his brand new jet ski as safety if we need to come into the reef. If it gets too rough out there, we can come into the reef and the catamaran can stay out. We have Chad and Kirsten. Well, Kirsten's going to be in the water, out of the water. We have lots of people who are going to help, and we also have another boat coming to meet us. So we have 2 or 3 boats. It's just big, and that's a lot of gas. That's a lot of money that people are, and there's no argument. People just step up and they just, what can I do? What can you tell me what I can do? And we're like, because all we have to concentrate on is getting around and getting home. The only problem is when you're circumnavigating the island, you're going to run into all weather because you're going to be into the wind, then you turn the corner, you're behind the wind. So we it's a challenge, a different challenge this year. We went to the Coast Guard. They were great to us. We went through all the charts, and they're going to be monitoring us as well. So safety isn't really safety is an issue, but we're well covered. We just have to make sure that we can stay on the boards and put our heads down.
So as you circumnavigate, I mean, what's your starting point and where is it finishing? But as you move between the spaces, are you in the reef? Are you going to go out?
Well, this is the thing. We've already gone through the charts. We know generally in our minds where we're at, but we're leaving from Rackham's on the 11th of this month of November. At around 6 or 7, just after sunset. So we're going to start at night because that's going to be the hardest part. Usually the wind is into us so we're Rackham's clockwise from Rackham's, and then so we're going to be beating into the wind.
So you go also West Point, come around, and then
correct, all the way around. And there's certain points then where we can go as the crow flies, and there's certain points where we need to tuck inside the reef just for safety and just I mean it gets big out there outside Pedro's and all that. It gets big.
It's supposed to be windy too, right?
We're the weather is actually we're watching it like he's watching it every hour.
It's gone down.
We have 3 days.
More in our favor.
We have 3 days.
Like 5 to 7 knots right now.
So the plan is, and I think we're looking good on windy from now. The plan is to leave on the 11th. Just after sunset and just go, and we're back the next day, before sunset, and we're having a big landing party at Rackham's, and fundraising there. You can do all sorts of stuff.
That is good.
That's where she comes in.
Yeah, that's where. So we're going to be exhausted. We'll be able to talk. So Ark is going to have to.
So this is where the heavy lifting comes in. With Tara, it's all on you then. You did the easy part.
No pressure.
Good afternoon, Miss Tara. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm well. It's good to see you again.
Always a pleasure. And I think as both Owen and has shared, the work of Ark, there is incredible wealth. In many ways, not just the financial wealth, the wealth of people who have big hearts, are generous, or willing to give. But I don't think that we understand the need that is in this community. And as I was listening to the passion, I'm thinking that increasing because on a personal level, I keep saying to people, stop assigning labels about at risk. All of our children, all of our communities, there is a need. And, I'm glad to see Ark stepping up like many. So kudos to you. Tell us about, it's the big event, because they've done the easy part. I mean, they've
for those of us that aren't fit, that can be there to cheer at the end, what is that going to be like?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we really encourage everyone to come and be there at Rackham's when they come back. That will be continually updated on social media because things obviously can change. But just to say, when you've been running a charity for 17 years, you pray for a phone call from somebody like Yaz that says, we're going to do this for the community and we'd love to support the work you do. So thanks to Yaz and this team, we work on the ground and we really see the grief and the poverty and the desperation that people endure every day. So when people like these guys step up and raise awareness about the issues, and they're such a fabulous team and they're greatly loved by so many people, it gets a conversation going, and people are so kind to give. But we especially need these funds and this continual support for all our various programs. We're trying to build a house right now. We will be building a house right now for an elderly Caymanian lady in Georgetown whose house burnt down, leaving her homeless. She lives in a container home at the moment, and we're trying to raise $80,000 to complete the amount of money that we need, so she no longer has to live in a metal box. We have our education program that we run up at John A. Cumber, where we have 12 students enrolled from severely disadvantaged families who simply cannot read, not even a two-letter word, and we're increasing the intake of students up there. So we really need continued support for the education program. We're supporting families, homeless families, families who are still struggling from the back of COVID, who are in debt or still not employed. Tourism isn't at 100%, obviously. So we've got families who are still not even beginning to recover from COVID. We've got the cost of living crisis. We've got so many problems that we can't even list them. But it's people like these three and this team and Chad flying down, taking time off. I mean time. Love should be spelt T-I-M-E. Just the time alone that they're giving is such a tremendous gift. And their own personal cost. We couldn't be more grateful. So, and as they say, everyone has something to give. It isn't necessarily money, but it is your gift. From teaching yoga, paddleboarding, this, playing the trumpet, baking, providing food, volunteering your time. There's so many ways that you can give if you can't give financially. So I would just implore everyone to champion this team. I mean, 70 miles in 24 hours in a rough sea. It's a phenomenal thing that they're undertaking. And when you think how the families that we support, from medical crisis to hunger to homelessness to deplorable housing, that never ends. It's day after day. It just never ends. And what these guys are doing, you know, is they're enduring hour after hour after hour. A lot of these families, we can give them temporary short-term relief, but we can't, you know, we can't solve all their problems. But this is what enables us. This kind of funding and conversation starter is what helps us to give relief to those in need.
I mean, you can just hear the passion from you and Yaz and everybody involved. Just that in general, like you guys genuinely care and want to help, and that's the best basis for anything.
So how do we help? I mean, end of the day, it takes some level of financial contribution to build a house, to provide the food, the shelter, and other things. How is the fundraising going, and how do we add to it?
There's a link on the website, on the ARC Facebook and Instagram. You can make a donation with your debit or credit card, or you can do a local online transfer. And I would encourage everyone, even if it's $10, don't think, oh, I can only give $10. It's not worth it. It is worth it. Please, anything that you could give, please just take a moment, you know, out of your day. That's the thing, is we think, oh yeah, I'm going to get on board, and then 3 weeks later you realize the events happened and you got distracted. Just stop for a moment, pull over, take a break, and try and find us on Facebook. Make a donation. Please help us help the community in need.
Also, just a quick interjection there. They will also have on the landing party on the 12th. We'll always have, you know, there'll be, you can, if you're not tech savvy or whatever, you just bring whatever cash you have. And we'll be there with buckets. There's you know, if you're good on your phone, we have our posters have QR codes on them for the link directly to the ARC to donate. On the day, look, if you're passing Rackham's, and I work there, so you're passing Rackham's, throw some money at whoever's behind the bar, and they'll stick a note on it for ARC, and it'll all go. Everything will go towards the charity. So there's multiple opportunities, and also we will also be doing some sort of a documentary, let's say, on the trip, and we'll post it after we've done the journey with the link again. So for weeks afterwards, it's going to be open, so you can watch what we did. Even, you know, a lot of people don't know what we do. Sometimes you go, oh cool, and there's a link to it, and you watch it, and then you go, wow, that was something. I think these guys, you know, deserve $25 for their efforts, and that's all we're trying to do.
And also at Rackham's, because people are generous with their businesses. You know, Kirsten was talking about it yesterday. We got a staycation at a
Rum Point Club Residences.
You know,
shout out.
Yeah,
that place is incredible. If you
some
haven't
serious
been.
Big prizes. Yes. We have to post
Good
all this.
prizes coming.
So like that stuff is coming. Like, you know, you buy a
We're working on
ticket. You know, you might get $1,000 gift certificate somewhere, man. So it like works out. I mean,
we're working on the prizes right now.
Are you looking for? Can people still donate prizes like companies as well?
Yes, if
and they can get in touch with you guys or for you as well.
Yeah, we'll take absolutely anything we can get. You know, we're going to do raffles on the night, or we'll it'll be well worth your while to come along. And we're working on a couple of things that we can't say yet because we don't technically have them yet, but we're trying to work.
I'm buying a ticket.
So
and you know what? If there's no prizes, just give us money anyway. We don't care.
Yeah, corporate companies can message.
Can get in touch. Businesses can get in touch. Anybody can get in touch to donate any. So they can help in that way. And volunteers as well. Do you need volunteers still for the event or for the landing if you need help with that?
We're probably covered. We have, as I said, I work at Rackham's and the staff at Rackham's have been fantastic. Tim at Rackham's, they'll do whatever we ask. So we're covered there. We're covered with safety. We're covered with equipment. It's just up to people to just, put their money where their mouth is and help the charity. Basically, that's what it is because me and Yaz, we often talk about this, that, we're very close with our families and, carry on. And we think we'd like to give back to people who aren't as fortunate.
Yeah, man.
And that speaks very much to the program that we run called MERE, Mentor, Educate, Reinforce. And these are children who don't have families. Yeah. They're usually from single parent homes. They never get to sit down with their grandparents, aunts, uncles and cousins. They don't get that family experience. So what family do they have? They have the community. And that's what we're trying to do with this program, is be a family. For these families, and it has proven to be life-changing, and we want to bring in more children, and this is family. This is what family does.
But as you share that, and I really appreciate it. I mean, I sat and really, my job requires me to talk. Really, I am, speechless, but I feel the emotion, the passion.
Absolutely.
And when I said to you, Tara, that labels are something that I have horror. We need in this community to have those programs in our schools that are for all of the children. No matter how we have, under the British system, we like to stream and label and put children into sets and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, was it Shakespeare say,
cut me, do I not bleed? You have
We're all the same.
Help, but you don't know.
And that program that will, help that child who has nobody will also help that child who has, the incredible support. And want to make it better, and that's where I'm hoping that as you call and appeal for donations and support, that we see the passion, we see the love, and we give it through our TIME.
I mean, I often say, your own struggle is your weakest link.
Yeah,
and that is Cayman looks great, it is great, but there is some weak links.
Yeah,
that need to be addressed, and that's these charities come along and they, if it's 10%, it's 10% too money.
Yeah,
one kid. Doesn't matter if it's one kid and 10 kids. The guy that interviewed me when we came from Little paddle in, it made sense, man. 10 years of paddling around Canada and Cayman and whatnot, and you cry with a guy that this 22 years old and he was 12 years old when you kicked it off. And he was, thanks, man. And he nonchalantly, he appreciates that.
And he's a muscular guy, tall, imposing, right? And yet you see what the impact has been in a positive way,
exactly.
Right? That's why
it's not even just at risk or those kinds of these kinds of events, and it can bring people together, even children that don't need maybe as much help, but it's the sense of community and being fitness,
it's awareness, it's inclusion.
I mean, you could be a part of something. Maybe both your parents work constantly, and you may not have a big brother or a big sister or something. Just being involved in these kinds of things really makes a difference.
Yeah. So, Ms. Tara, I certainly want to publicly extend an invitation that after the event, if you wish, phone call or otherwise, come back and tell us how successful it was.
We'd love to.
And maybe set the stage for something else, right? But I do mindful of other guests. I know your time. Perhaps start with you first. So quick final thoughts, and then Yaz conclude with you. But Ms. Tara?
Just a huge thanks to these guys. It's a fabulous example to others who maybe get their minds working and thinking what they can do to impact their community. There's so many amazing charities. Everyone has a heart for a different charity. But take a moment to read about them and see what you align with and what you love and what you want to champion. But all of us work really hard across the board, and we all see all the most horrible things every day and horrible, difficult stories. And we need every single person to step up out of their comfort zone and just think about somebody else. So thank you to these guys, and to everyone who donates. Anyone who's listening, please take a moment to donate and be part of the solution that we're very much working really hard to be.
Thanks. Kristen, if you have any thoughts.
Well, my friends, we are still looking for some raffle prizes and things of that nature so we can add to this amazing cause at the end when we do land. If you would love to help us out, we would love to have that. So please reach out to us via the Facebook, Instagram. I've got the link on my Instagram.
Can you tell us your name and the account?
If you go on, it's Kirsten. I've got the link to the charity in mine. Or if you go on ARC's Instagram, it's Acts of Random Kindness. Those links are up there, and we are all three sharing it almost every single day, just reaching people that we...
Rackhams are also sharing it on their
And
Instagram.
most of the bars that you're going out to, you're going to see our photo and the QR code to scan. You just hold your camera phone up, and it will take you right to the website. But we are still in need of donations. If you want to be a corporate sponsor with some branding on our rash guards, things of that nature, help out. Like Tara said, $10. Whatever you can do is going to help these incredible people in this beautiful place that we call home. Right. Thank you.
Owen?
Yeah, that's. I think everybody said everything. Really, just it's for us. We're doing this event because it makes quite a splash. We're colourful guys and girls. We make a bit of noise. So that's what it's about. Like drawing attention to it. And then if you like what we do, or it might inspire somebody to do something that they can do physically or with their gifts that they were given. So I just think, even if you're not, you can do whatever you want. Just do something, do anything, just anything to help. And that might inspire another person, or somebody you help out might grow up and be inspired to do that stuff. So it's keep giving, you're passing it on. I think that's our duty, to be honest. That's the way we were raised. That's the way we like to live our lives. So that's what we're trying to do.
Can't top that. I mean,
he's a man of few words.
No, I'm not at all.
Yes, he puts his head down. We barely talk the whole panel.
But true. There's a slogan that we go because you can. And, or he says, you go, I go. Kind of like, so it's a lot of these little things that we kind of, if you can do it now, do it now. Don't hold on next year or year after or whatever. It's like, life's too short. We all learned that in the last couple of years and whatnot. And this is, if you can do it, go ahead and do it.
And make hay while the sun shines.
Exactly.
Yeah, support your community. You're part of it. You live it. It's your duty. You have to do it. Period.
Well, I commend you, man, and I'm hoping that...
I can't wait now.
I'm so excited to paddle.
And we would like to come back, please, and actually thank everybody, because there's a lot of sponsors, and I'm reading through what I want to say, and now, like, if I've forgotten something, I'll forgive myself. So.
We'll
be more organized after the event.
I mean, once you get some rest and stuff as well.
all we're thinking about now is just putting the head down, and we're just, to be honest, we're looking at the weather so much. It's quite difficult to try and get, there's so much other logistics around it, and Kirsten's been fantastic. Everyone's been fantastic, but when it comes to me in my head, I'm thinking, gee, I gotta put my head down and paddle. So we gotta eat right this week, and we gotta take care of ourselves, and we gotta get ready for it. So we've got a lot on our plates, but we're looking forward to it. We're pumped.
And thank you for your time.
Exactly.
Always.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You're most welcome, Star, and I know the community continues to be supportive and understand that through the heart. We show our love by giving her the time. All right. Well.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
So excited.
Indeed. Well, join us after the break for another discussion. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
a caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Pirates Fest. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. The evolution of Cayman's Pirates. A little bit of fun for everyone. Grand Cayman festivities from November 10th through the 20th. 10 days, 33 events. From happy hour parties, cardboard boat races, the Trial of the Pirates, float parade, national song competition, pooch parades, races, fireworks. So many fireworks. Pirates Fest is here. 33 events, 10 days, November 10th through the 20th. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Pirate fire raging through Church Street, bright and little Cayman, putting on some heat.
Cayman Islands, are you ready?
Yes, sir, Central.
Live from Roatan, Honduras, it's the Happy Boys.
I am feeling like so high.
Happy Boys.
Send me up below, let you dream on.
Bandans music from 9 p.m. until it's a Bay Island celebration hosted by T-Doctor and guest parts proceeds goes to Meals on Wheels. Brought to you by Radio Cayman, The Mango Train, CaymanEvents.co, and Loud Production. Saturday, November 5th, Wednesday, November 9th, and holiday Monday, November 14th. Don't you miss the Happy Boys from Roatan, the Bay Islands of Honduras. When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist, or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Cistern water designated for the purposes of drinking, cooking, and bathing must be disinfected before use after a hurricane. Simply leave the water for 1 minute after it begins to boil, or to disinfect with bleach, add 3 ounces of chlorine bleach to every 1,000 gallons of water. A residual bleach smell is an indicator that the water has been properly disinfected. For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks too to Adimani for just sitting a few minutes with me, spending the afternoon. I hope you're enjoying yourself so far.
I love it. I'm not going to leave now.
All right, well, listen, what we will do is we'll get a hammock. Maybe I can get approval.
It's already a padded room, so it's perfect.
Perfect for you?
Cover myself in Velcro and just sleep.
No, man, it's say when you find something that you enjoy and you like doing, and it's well, from the Cancer Society, the operations manager joined us. Miss Paula, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's good to see you.
Thank you. Same here. Very excited to join in today, and I appreciate the opportunity on behalf of the team and the board of directors.
Well, we're glad to extend it, and it's important because we're seeing, as we look within our community, wonderful people giving of, as as a good friend always reminds us, the time, of the talent, of the treasure. There are many things and ways that we can. If we do it willingly, it makes a meaningful difference.
Absolutely, and you are spot on. Sometimes it's really just the time that we need assistance with, and treasure, I would say, not just the talent, but their capabilities. So we would love to today have an opportunity to just give you a little overview, and of course your audience, of what the society is and what are the big needs that we currently have in Cayman.
Please share with us, because I think the more that we are aware of what's happening, more of the needs, but more of the educational opportunities, the more that we know, hopefully the better position we are to not just benefit, but to contribute.
True, and many ways to contribute. So thanks again. For instance, what I would love to share first is the society basically is an office of a team of 4. So when you think about, a very small team, what's Cayman Islands? Population of almost 80,000, and you have 4 people dedicating efforts for 3 islands. So each of us gets 20,000 people. Well, that's a big responsibility.
Knowing that now, the work you do is amazing.
Thank you.
It's for 4.
Absolutely. It's a small team. We have relied with the support of volunteers, and of course the directors on the board are also volunteers, so they don't get paid for all of the activity that they get to do, but a lot of the operations, of course, happens from our little office just right across from the hospital. We have our office there, but it's a not-for-profit. It's a charitable organization, and for those who may not be aware, it's been out since 1995, which is huge for us because it really speaks about the solid works throughout the years. So when you have an organization for 25 plus years doing good in the community, this is the staple type of organizations that we hope more and more the community would embrace, especially as we operate in good standing with the registrar. This is the office of the government that overlooks the NPOs, and means that being in good standing means that we are actually reporting back to them. We have our dots in a row, and that we are operating efficiently, of course. So not being a government unit ourselves, we really rely on the donation, basically from the Cayman community. Anything that comes from the citizens, the corporations, private donors, because we don't really receive a grant from the government. And we also have membership, which I will speak to in a little bit, but that's the other way we could actually earn a little bit of funds, which help provide many of the things that we actually do.
And this is where I think as we look at it in the community, and especially when we think to healthcare illnesses, but cancers in particular.
Correct.
I will forever sing the praises and be eternally grateful for what I believe was the starting for it. The Lions Club of Tropical Gardens with their breast cancer. A relatively young club saw a need, stepped up, and from that first event, 25 years ago now, to today, you see not only the education, but you see the ease with which people put up their hands and ask a question, share a comment.
Yeah.
And so cancer is no longer whispered. People are actively seeking information. Yes. And ignorance is not bliss.
No, and health in general, but cancer especially does not discriminate at all.
You're spot on.
At all. I think everybody has some kind of connection or story to somebody they know or family member or something.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, especially like when it comes to your organization as well, it's the money and the time that goes into the donations into research that makes a massive difference too. It's not just like a community-based thing, but like the bigger work that goes on after that.
Totally. Yeah. Yes.
Well, Ms. Paula, but as you share, because I was thinking, other things, but share with us whatever you wish.
Oh, no, thank you. No, that's you're spot on what you mentioned. Really, it's a degree of separation these days. You know someone who's been touched, and cancer is touching every demographic of this island, and we see them day in, day out. So for us, what's important is early detection, of course, but prevention. In many ways, we can continue the conversation on how we can best educate not only us as adults, but our teenagers, younger generations, because really as early as we can talk about this topic, which is quite important in health, we can definitely do our best. So The office actually for screenings, and one of the reasons we will be talking a bit later about the event coming up, is that we have charity vouchers that we can provide for certain individuals, especially those who may not have insurance or their medical insurance covers quite little. And so we have been able to assist with Pap tests, prostate exam, and the throat and mouth cancer screenings. And that's huge for us. It's important because we really need to continue to educate the population that screening is critical.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's like screening is prevention. And if it's out of touch financially, then like that's the first hurdle that you can't get to.
Right. And we really try for no big challenges to really be out there when it comes to assisting the population. We try to become creative also. There is a criteria for many of the programs that we service for the community, but the lending hand that the ladies provide in the community servicing that we do at the office, it doesn't really stop at, do you actually applied for this and you do cover these items or you do not cover these items. They really go above and beyond, and it really speaks highly about how committed they are to the cause, but also to assist the community. So charity vouchers is something that we continue to do.
I think as I listen to the idea that we don't appreciate sometimes how even with a level of insurance, even that person who may say, I think back to last Thursday evening at the Lions Community Center where the Top Guards Club had their event.
Yes.
And the presenter shared, even with excellent health insurance coverage, you don't realize how much more financial support you need, how much more expense you incur.
Yeah. Yes.
There are a lot of things that not just the ancillary things in relation to treatment and travel, but there are things that are related to exactly what you need to get through.
And it's life.
It is life.
So how do you? There's only two options. There's do it or don't do it, and how do you?
And we absolutely
on families as well.
Yes, we absolutely encourage everybody to do what we believe is best. Personally, I do call the cancer journey this time on your life where you're going to have to go through the doctor's appointments, the paperwork, all of these items to really cover for all that you need as a cancer patient to really get through. Because we really want everybody to get through, right? So we have a lot of opportunities within the society's community servicing with the financial aid program. That's quite a big thing for us that perhaps the community is not as familiar that we do. And that's the number one I would like to highlight today, because we really try to get everybody, even if they have to go overseas, because still not all of the infrastructure is in Cayman, although soon come. We're very excited. We still have some local cancer patients that need to go to Florida, for example. Yeah. So when it is in a possibility to support them, of course, we can provide for their flights, for their accommodation, not only the expense related to the treatment itself, but the financial aid program can also cover for some support towards food for the cancer patient, even sometimes for rent. I mean, you're already speaking of a demographic that is challenged, financially challenged. Of course, they're struggling with the stress of this health challenge. And the families and all that comes with it. So how can we help take that burden down a little bit? That's why we not only have that financial aid program, but we also try to do other community servicing to support them, because that's sometimes what they just need, someone out there for them, because it's already very stressful in their life.
Very stressful indeed, and we probably don't even appreciate how that translates into, so much. But through your programming, whether it's education, whether it's the, actual assistance financial, maybe we can talk more about it when we come back from our break, and you can share with us as much as you wish.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from September 30th until October 8th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.porterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And again, thanks to Ademani for keeping my company, man. You're making the conversation much easier, much more informative. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Your guests have been pretty great, and it's ending with the best one.
It's amazing.
With better lipstick than me as well.
Oh,
you know,
noticing.
I thank you for drawing. I would say better, but certainly
it's beautiful.
No,
it's beautiful too.
See beautiful.
Yeah, see, women see things that men.
Yeah, women for women.
Exactly.
There you go. I feel good now.
Good.
Wow. Can I say, wearing the awesome lipstick is the operations manager from the Cancer Society.
Yes. And, next time I'll do the purple one. Now
that
I was looking at the purple and saying,
Well, now it's pink for breast cancer, which is finishing, so.
And purple is about change and regal. And
of course.
So
Queen.
It brings together much.
It does. It does.
You know what? This could be a fashion show. Maybe I have to call them.
Fashion with all the cancer ribbons. That'd be cool.
It's something we have considered. So now that you put it on the in the universe, we might just have to get this done for 2023.
There you go, man. I can volunteer Miss Norman to model it for us.
Yes.
She's like, what are you doing?
Absolutely.
I mean, why not?
Yes.
Move over, Shadi.
Yeah.
Oh man, it is. I think wonderful that we can have this discussion and be able to
candidly.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's the most important part, that we have to have the conversation. Yeah. So how do you find an angle where it doesn't become sad or upsets people, right? And I mean, you were talking about the ribbons. Lavender is actually our ribbon color for all types of cancer. So more and more the Cayman Islands is going to see our lavender ribbon out there. That's important for us. It's not just image, it's not just branding, it's a statement. We have to care for all types of cancers. There is the predominant ones on island, of course, but we have to outreach to make sure that even the younger generations, when we discuss about the HPV, the vaccination program, that's something for like teenage, high school students, right? But we want the parents to understand this is the chance for you to protect your daughter, protect your son. So we have to have the discussion in a way that we can talk about it.
And it makes it less taboo as well.
Totally.
If you normalize something, and it makes it seem less scary.
It's scary, yes.
As well.
Information that is timely and accurate, presented in a way that people can relate to.
Right.
And ask very constructive questions.
Exactly.
Because we live in a time where, not unlike during World War II when the pamphlets were dropped as disinformation. It happens today, but in a different way.
In a different way.
And not always from, the fringe, but sometimes from those in a position of power and authority.
Exactly.
So knowing, trusting, being able to verify is important, and having these, one-on-one conversations.
Yes.
I like the opportunity to learn more.
And not just whatever month it is, that if it's we stop talking about breast cancer after October, or you focus, it's bringing awareness, but the conversation should still be there throughout the year.
Throughout the year, yes. And one of the important things that we ask, when you go back to your time, talent, treasure, how people can help us, open the doors of your office or your school to allow the team at the Cancer Society to go provide a presentation. There is better information online all the time for other topics, of course. But the team on site, team on island, understands what our community is going through.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to share it. But for doing, we have other media, radio, social media, of course, absolutely. But in person,
human contact.
That contact is so important. So we really request the assistance starting now. People who have the opportunity to welcome a lunch and learn in their office, in their corporation. We will fit in wherever. We just want to have that communication one-on-one or in a little small group if it's more comfortable. We will do massive presentations if we're allowed, for sure. But we want to put that message out there in a way that we reach more.
And so it's constantly being talked about.
Yes.
It's not just one person. Yeah. So it's always there.
Yes.
I think it comes down to that information becomes, informative, educating. And then through that, we come back to prevention.
Totally.
We understand about our lifestyle choices, things we need to adopt, maybe things we need to sort of scale back on.
Exactly.
And sometimes even little things that are significant that we ignore. How many of us go outside and get adequate sunshine, fresh air? What about our exercise? But what about rest and relaxing and getting some sleep?
Yeah.
I love that. I could hear this all day.
Exactly.
It's so important. And sometimes we need to be reminded of these things.
Absolutely. This grinding until I was just talking to my mom about this too. Like, you guys work so much and you work so much, but they come from a generation that we don't relax, fulfillment. I'm like, but it prolongs your life. Sleeping.
Totally. Quality of
sleep.
Yes.
Quality of sleep, quality of time with family, those kinds of things. And I think especially what you're saying about going into offices and schools and stuff like that, because you can read a lot and get so much info on cancer, but having a team that can come in and talk and that people will know are here, say maybe their mother or family member will get something.
Exactly.
It's you're already meeting somebody who's from the organization that represent that thing that could affect you.
Exactly. And that's the personal touch.
Accessible.
It's accessible. And that's sometimes what is needed the most.
Yeah.
If they have questions, even if we don't have the answer or may not have the answer right away, we can help provide the resource or the contact, because that's the liaison type of of what we do. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's important because it brings not just the human element, the human touch, but it reminds us that it is something that, whether it's immediately around us because it's in the family, or whether it's a colleague, or whether it's a customer, it may just be something we've heard in the media.
Yes.
And it may remind us that we can do things in many ways to make a positive difference.
Totally. And speaking about reminders, one thing that I keep reminding a lot of the community members that I do meet at either presentations is that we have also, as patient services, the lending of home care equipment, hospital beds, wheelchairs, walking frames. Not a huge inventory, but we do have some of these items because especially some of our patients are in need of. And sometimes other people just inquire about it. So if in need, just give us a ring. If we don't have it, we could potentially say, okay, maybe you can reach out to this company or such. But this is a part of the society community servicing that perhaps many people are not aware of. So we constantly have to remind them of.
I didn't even know that. See, I'm glad I came today.
And you stayed true.
Every day you come, it's a good day, man. It's a good day. All right, we have the news. We're going to go to that as well when we come back. I'm always encouraged by what you share. We're certainly excited to learn more. So I invite you to share as we return.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. We'll talk today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. As a prelude to the hearings in the Cayman Islands by the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council set to take place from November 15th to the 18th, 2022, a formal opening ceremony will take place in Grand Court 1 at the Halls of Justice Main Court Building on Tuesday, November 15th. In international news, glaciers across the globe, including the last ones in Africa, will be unavoidably lost by 2050 due to climate change, the UN says in a report. Glaciers in a third of UN World Heritage sites will melt within 3 decades, a UNESCO report found. Mount Kilimanjaro's last glaciers will vanish, as will glaciers in the Alps and Yosemite National Park in the U.S. They will melt regardless of the world's actions to combat climate change, the authors say. A UK subsidiary of mining giant Glencore has been ordered to pay more than £275 million for bribing officials in African countries to get access to oil. The company paid £23 million through agents and employees to officials of crude oil firms in Nigeria, Cameroon and Ivory Coast between 2011 and 2016. Prosecutors say Glencore Energy UK employees and agents used private jets to transfer cash to pay the bribes. Glencore Energy UK pleaded guilty to 7 corruption offences in June. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Little Cayman, the 2022 Pirates Fest season starts with you November 4th through the 6th with the official kickoff at McCoy's Sunset Bar Friday the 4th, followed by the float parade 3 p.m. on the 5th starting from Southern Cross, costume competition, fireworks show, and don't forget about the Pirates Party at the Hungry Iguana. You know them pirates like a little party, Little Cayman style. Little Cayman Pirates Fest, November 4th through the 6th.
Come on out to the Cayman Seafood Fest and Health Fair. Come enjoy your favorites like crab, turtle, conch and shrimp with tasty side dishes. Get free blood pressure checks, flu shots, nutritional counseling and much more. See you Saturday, November the 5th, 11 to 3 at the Farmers Market next to the cricket grounds. All proceeds to support the NCVO. Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
Get your running shoes on, ruffle your tail feathers, and prepare to work off that extra helping of turkey dinner while giving back in a big way this Thanksgiving season. Registration is now open for the 7th annual Meals on Wheels 5K Turkey Trot Fundraising Run Walk. Walk, run, or waddle. Don't miss it. Saturday, November 26th, starting and ending at Grand Ole House, South Church Street. Registration is open to all ages. Join our sponsors, Grand Ole House, Western Resort, Kirk Market, Progressive Distributors, Cafe Del Sol, and Radio Cayman as they support Meals on Wheels in the fight to end senior hunger in the Cayman Islands. Register today online at www.mealsonwheels.ky or call 769-1974 for more information. See you at the start line.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as we get a chance to learn more, but not just celebrate, but be grateful to the excellent work of the Cayman Cancer Society. and Operation Manager, Ms. Paula, for joining us. But Miss Annie, I realize, wow, some days, some people have so much on.
No, maybe it's because I got so much from this that I can't handle your awesome talk. But I will be back next week.
God's willing, yes.
On Monday.
Yeah, hope to look forward to see you. But thank you very much for being a part of
Thank you for allowing me to enter your car stereos and houses this afternoon.
All right, well, we're looking forward to you joining us again. Enjoy your afternoon.
See you guys.
And as she makes the exit, Susan plays the theme song. No, but it's the laughter that we enjoy through the banter that we learn.
I know, my lipstick twin now it's gone.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm glad that she referenced that, because there are some people, where they just have that wonderful shine about themselves, that grace, that aura. So
she's amazing.
She is. Yes. Thank you very much. And I'm hoping that as we, through you, start to not only understand how we can partner with the Cancer Society, whether we become members, as you referenced earlier, whether as sponsors, individual or corporate, but whether as community partners in many ways, benefit from the information but contribute to continued education.
Totally. And the easiest way to contribute to our efforts is quite handy for those who are tech savvy. For example, following us on social media. We really need to spread the word out, right? So if you are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, please like our pages and share our posts, because your outreach could potentially make us reach out to a lot more in the population than we could do probably from the office. But you were talking about time, talent, and treasures. So I'm going to go along that line.
Marlon has put that in my mind decades ago, and I think that's so apropos.
Yes. So how people could volunteer with us, there's many opportunities to provide your time to the society, from helping us in admin stuff at the office, helping us at events, helping out with the social media, the websites. Like, there's different roles for sure, but the event portion, with the event planning, the executing events, that's a huge task. And we really would love to see a lot more of the individuals in the community help out on that. Of course, there's a lot of corporations that have a dedicated volunteer work day, or they provide their staff with paid hours to go do volunteer work. So if you have the opportunity to do that, or if you're a company, if you're listening and you have the opportunity to provide your employees with a pay day whilst they go volunteer, this will be a way to connect with us so that we can find a project, a task. But the other big thing that we wanted to share is especially the upcoming Lavender Brunch. It's really fun to get social and to get the opportunity to see about 150 people together in one little place. But this time it's actually at the beautiful gardens of the residence of Melissa and ALT, Mr. Thompson. So in South Sound, the beautiful setting is going to host us this Saturday for a lovely social, which is a fundraiser for the society. And we already have a few volunteers helping us out, of course. But what we would love to see is more community members come and get to meet the team of the society, get to hear a little bit of what we do and how we do it. And if you're attending, most likely you are like-minded and everybody's there because of the cause. So what better to have this power of 150 people together? Because as is right now, the society doesn't have a proper ambassador per se. There's not one individual out there being the champion in a sense that goes through all of the corporations, goes through all of the businesses, goes through all of the schools, right? So we could have a lot more of those ambassadors. And this could come from people who are really committed to the cause, and we'll get to meet a lot of them during the event on Saturday morning at the residence of Miss Melissa and A.L. Thompson, the Lavender Brunch.
The Lavender Brunch. And this is where, as you said, many people coming together, offering up what they can in their own way, and sometimes just making that connection, being mindful that cancer is, as you said, a degree we all have something that resonates with us because of the impact.
Yes, true. I mean, there is no better way to speak about it but the word impact. It really hits home for many. And, well, a small population, small island, we are interconnected. So we hear the stories, and it really is very close to our hearts.
And its prevalence is just sort of intriguing for some from the statistical perspective that the cancers that are maybe much more statistically significant in other jurisdictions are here as well. But even those that are considered rare, we still see those incidences. It behooves us to be involved, to be informed, and to try to make a contribution in some way.
Definitely. I mean, absolutely. And breast cancer for sure is one that is big on Island, and we as a cancer society dedicate a lot of efforts when it comes to financial aid support to breast cancer patients. So that's an important reminder also for the community, because it could be a different perception. People may not know, may not be aware of, but that's a huge thing that we do.
And just the knowledge, but just the environment. I'm mindful, and I leave it to you to share, but I'm cognizant of some of the discussions that unfold, within your space. And it gives people a chance to feel supported, feel loved, feel that they're not on their own.
Right.
And from the prosthesis to, the fitting of certain garments.
Totally. No, absolutely. And they feel validated. They feel like they can speak comfortably about what they feel and how they feel about this journey that they're going through. I think that the ladies in the team do a phenomenal job making sure that they can have these conversations in a comfortable setting. So, you earn the trust of the cancer patients. They can speak to you, and then we can best identify what are the best angles to assist them.
Yeah. And they understand that, even though they may know that they're not the only person that has this journey, but they feel for that time that they're the most important and they're the only individual that matters.
True.
And you don't understand it. If you go to someone, for instance, who is having treatment, whether it's radiation, chemo, or otherwise, you're just there. Maybe you're reading your book, maybe you're talking, maybe you understand that impacts them a certain way after. Where there's a great sense of fatigue, nausea, and like just knowing that you can be there for them, they knowing that there's someone there.
Right.
It means a lot. It makes a difference.
It does make a difference. So that's one of the great things that we can provide. The other side of the, community servicing and informational piece really comes from the professionals. So besides the fun events that we have, which I think this one that I'm going to talk about is also quite fun, but it's more education than anything else. And that's the November 17th that is hosted every year at the Lion Center, and mostly focused for men, especially this month, Movember. It's the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Education Night. And that's when we have at least 3 professionals, 3 doctors, Health City Cayman Islands, a GP from Integra Healthcare, which is also a doctor's hospital. Coming from overseas, from Baptist Health of Miami, we have a urologist, and we'll have some professionals that night to really speak to the audience on topics, of course, cancer related. There's Dr. Martinez, who actually will speak about cardiovascular, but it's so important that they also listen to this message from the professionals and men. Perhaps women get the message quicker, they digest it easier sometimes, but man, we need to continue to drill through for the message so that people get screened, so that people get checked, and what a better, social gathering, I'm going to say, even though it's educational night, to be at the Lion Center with a group of your friends, all guys get together, and really just go through that component of education in a setting that is comfortable and is not judgmental.
And this is where I think, the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, through their peace event, as they focus on prostate, testicular, colon cancer, you're starting to see that, unfortunately, for whatever reason, we make the joke, men, we don't want to ask for directions and the like, but very serious topic that they're able to present sometimes with a little bit of, fun. In an environment that isn't for some as sterile as a physician's office, as it were.
Totally.
And then to have someone else say, I've had this procedure, it's just a simple blood test for the PSA, or maybe they've had the other tests, and with some banter, it's not what you think it is, and this is why it's important.
Yes.
But even for those who have a diagnosis that said, you know what, sadly I ignored, as Mr. Roy Borden was sharing, that niggling feeling, and now, you know, it's this. So he says, don't ignore that niggling feeling, catch it early. Just like early detection for breast cancer, early detection for any cancer.
Totally.
So this is on the 17th, Thursday evening?
It's, yes, on the 17th of November, and it's at the Lions Community Center from 7 p.m. And like you spoke about it, the testing will be available. We'll have labs on site. This is a free PSA blood testing for men who will be in attendance. And I mean, not all of the prostate cancers need treatment. So we don't want to scare people out thinking, oh, you're going to get tested and then we're going to get your results and then it's going to be scary. No. Actually, the whole opposite is go get tested.
Yes.
And it's cancer is easier to treat most likely when it's like you said, diagnosed in early stages, right? So what better to go take that test that night and start that conversation also with male in your group and all of the people in your social network where perhaps you as a man have the opportunity to be the one to drive the message. Oh, hey guys, we are an age, we need to get checked.
Yeah. And you know, however you present it to your male counterparts.
Exactly.
You know, whether it's for encouragement that they can still, you know, be the man that they think you are, you know, when they're 120, you know. But don't ignore it now when you're 60 or 40, you know, pay attention.
Especially at that age. I mean, you know, they say the recommended age between 55, 69, but if you had a family member who had prostate cancer or maybe more than one family member, then they say between 40 years of age, 54 years of age would be suggested. So it's just important that you also assess your family history. Your lifestyle, your healthy lifestyle or not healthy lifestyle, like we were talking earlier today, and then just, you know, make the conscious effort. Okay, I'll get tested. I mean, there's a lot of marketing in the month of October, for ladies to go get checked, right? So Movember is really the opportunity to blast it out there for a man to take it. Go on the 17th of November and really get that blood testing. It's blood test.
And it's not something, as you shared, Ms. Paula, to be afraid of.
Totally,
you know?
yes.
And for some of us, getting a blood test may be a little bit more than they want, but it's a whole lot better to know and to get it early than to have to face something else because we were stubborn, because we
Precisely.
didn't, you know, take the time to, you know, make our health the priority that it should.
Yes.
And you know, I'm saying that publicly and loudly so I can be reminded as well.
Yourself, yes.
And not to ignore it. Time flies, and
it does.
You're thinking tomorrow I'll go to the appointment, and you postpone it, and then a year's passed, and who knows how many more years after that.
Exactly.
So if this is you know, don't put it off any longer. That would be one occasion to do it, right?
Yes, just one of the many, and you just use a very important word, which is priority. What is priority in life, if not, is health.
Yeah.
So when you have these opportunities, and that night it's a free PSA blood testing, take it. You know, take it. You can't make it. You can't be there in attendance. You're overseas. Okay, what's the next opportunity? So reach out to the Cancer Society. You know, let us have your questions. We will talk to you. Sometimes it's not about, oh, should I not? No, it's let's have the conversation.
Yeah. And your location at present, right near Yellow Building, right by the almost on the hospital grounds.
Yes.
For some people, that's just a way to point them. Hey, the lab is there. You see your GP. It doesn't take long as you found your way here. Well, you can find your way there and do it as soon as you can.
Correct. Yes. And I mean, that's a priority spot for us when it comes to accessibility. Just to know that I always say we're an extension of the parking lot of HSA. But it's important because the flow, the traffic flow, the foot traffic to the hospital could only be of our benefit, just knowing that we are there for the community.
Yeah. And it's important, I think, that the community gradually gets to that space. You know, as I was listening to you speak, you know, I was taking that sort of virtual walk through the atrium of the hospital. There's that wall.
Yes,
if they would allow me to say the
wall.
wall of honor, right? Because here, people who have, in my mind, the courage and the determination to serve as examples. Hey, this is the journey that we're on.
Right.
And we want you to understand that there's support. And if you don't, bury your heads in the sand and be foolish to your health needs, you can live a very, very good quality of life going forward.
Yes, it's such a beautiful, welcoming scenery when you walk through the atrium of HSA Hospital with that survivor's wall. It's like just you said, the stories, of course, of courage, of strength, resilience, positivity, laughter, because you have to have that beautiful sense of and spark in you to really go through the cancer journey. So it's impressive to see all these beautiful photographs that really inspire us, and they're motivational also for even the team and people in the community who are really championing this cause to continue the efforts to support the Cancer Society.
And I hope that those who perhaps know more will appreciate the context, even though sometimes I'm told I speak in parables and a sense of code. But for many of us, there are things that we keep private, our health, our finances, many of the things that we would probably not even share with the closest of friends and family. And for these individuals to put their picture, put their story public, to serve as a way to encourage people, to help them to understand that it's not a journey that you have to make on your own. You're not that person that is going to be somehow discarded or dismissed or ostracized. And that for me brings to home how important it is.
It is. And good thing for the island, we have a high profile of professionals in the medical industry when it comes to cancer care. So it's such a blessing. And of course, more and more with, as we said, the community understanding how close you are now to someone who's gone through cancer, or of someone who knows someone who's gone through cancer, the support element is incredible. So what needs to happen is that associations like ours that is fully dedicated to the effort gets more awareness, gets more support from the community, gets more funds, because it doesn't seem like these works that we're doing are going to end nowhere soon. This is going to be years of years, just like 25 years have gone through of tremendous work in Cayman by the society.
And that's the unfortunate thing. We don't seem to see just yet that end in sight. And whatever the reasons, whether they're environmental, whether they're lifestyle, whether there are things that we've introduced to our bodies in whatever form, sometimes even the most inadvertent thing just occurs, totally unexpected. But that is the realities that we face. So how do we then ensure that there is that support? And organizations like the Cancer Society can offer that level of love and nurture and support. But it takes money. So for what you're doing now, the volunteers are important.
They're very important.
How else can we help to bring support to you?
The big request I'm going to ask today for those who are listening is to consider to become a member of the Cayman Islands Cancer Society. When you are a member, you actually get to participate of our AGM, which happens in December, so coming up, and you get to have a vote. You get to have a word. And if you really champion this cause, if it's in your heart, your volunteer time is great. Of course, your financial support is incredibly gratefully appreciated. But being our champion in your workplace, in your social network, in your community group, at church, wherever it is, especially if you're a member of the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, you help us bring that message to a broader audience. The outreach is so important. So membership, it's huge. It's for individuals. It's for families. If corporations want to have a membership, we'll set that up, because we want more people who are actively involved towards the cause to be part of the society, to be a member of the society. So that's one of the big ones. Of course, becoming a supporter of our events, attending, a sponsorship, even donating gift certificates for our events so we can have raffles, we can have auctions. That's huge for us. Sometimes it's easier when you can't hand out cash, but hey, here's a gift card. And hopefully you'll raise, 3-4 times more than what the value of this gift card is. That's huge for us. And we actually need, especially as our big events are coming up. So when you talk about the Lavender Brunch earlier, that's a very nice social. We have another one coming in December, which is a tasting tour at Camana Bay. And that's where we ask organizations or small offices even to consider us as their staff holiday party. Our tasting tour at Camana Bay will be a good opportunity for their team to get together, right? But you could fundraise on behalf of the society. You can drop a cash donation at our office. We have an account at Cayman National, so we welcome those online. You can donate Cayman Airways miles, so we can send patients to Florida, for example, on the Cayman Airways flights. You can absolutely find a way whilst you care for your best ones and your loved ones, and you provide additional support to the society. So just give us a call, 949-7618, email info@cics.ky. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, website, cics.ky. And just that people interaction. Come meet us at the office, 114 Maple Road, which is the extra parking spot area at HSA Hospital. If there's a point of reference, Maple Road side though. But there's many ways to get to us. But it's harder for a small team of 4 to get to everybody. So we need help with the outreach. That's a good thing that we can provide information, we can provide resources. We're still challenged with getting out to as many places, to as many people. So we would love to have ambassadors out there for us.
Through that level of sort of partnership and participation, we can make the community consciously aware of things we can adopt, ways we can contribute, and how we can support. So it's always a pleasure, and I'm hoping that we have increasingly more opportunities to share, through you with the public on cancer education.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. We are looking forward to welcoming the phone calls in the office or the emails. Anybody who was listening today and needs more information, please reach out.
What's the number again?
949-7618 or info@cics.ky.
Well, it would be nice to know that the phones are ringing with people willing to volunteer, to sponsor, to support, to ask for information in particular, and be so. So thank you very much.
Very lovely. Thank you.
All right, always a pleasure, and I value Radio Cayman's continued outreach, education, and access that we provide for the entire country. So
thank you.
We're glad to be able to offer that. On Friday, which is the day after today, a couple of things will transpire. We certainly want you to join the good friends over in East End for their Heritage Day celebrations. But join Mr. Art in the morning. Start your day off in an informed perspective. For the record, come back for Talk Today right after the midday news and midday meditation. We've got a couple of things for you, including a discussion on the idea of how we can use the resources that are here and perhaps make our energy costs, our environmental contribution that much more meaningful. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331.
Talk Today is proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village. Convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays.